take courage. Because you see the clouds on the horizon and you're afraid of them and you're running from them. But he said, those clouds, they're actually filled with God's mercy. They're not storm clouds, they're blessing clouds. And you're running from them, but if you would stay, they would break with blessings on your head. We run when sometimes what actually we're running from is God himself. Saying, hey, this difficult time, this hard situation right in front of you, if you were to face it, you would see my mercy and my grace through it, and blessings would pour on your head. But no, you say, we will take swift horses and we will flee. And even when we run from God, the next verse says this, I love it. It says, yet the Lord longs to be gracious to you. Therefore, he will rise up to show you compassion, for the Lord is a God of justice. Blessed are those who wait on him. God himself, even when we run from him, he's longing to show us compassion, longing to show us his love for those who wait on him. What an amazing thing that God wants to bless you, he wants to reach out to you, but he'll only be able to do that when you're face to face with it. He can't bless you from behind when you're running away from me. He said, if you would turn towards me, I would bless you. Blessed are all those who what? Wait for him. Who wait for him. That's a hard thing, guys. To wait. To stay still. I don't like staying still. I don't like being quiet. In general, I'm an active person, I'm a noisy person, and that sometimes gets me in trouble. Because that whole waiting on the Lord, and being still, and being quiet. And I noticed kind of how noisy I am this past week when we were in Japan. Because Japan is a different culture, and for me, in general, it's just quiet. You know, you meet it with a lot of people, and you know, Tokyo is a busy place, but in general, compared to like New York City, like, it just feels quiet. And for me, like I said, I'm someone, when I walk around San Jose, I'm kind of like singing and dancing and moving all the time, which is barely appropriate for America. It's definitely not appropriate in Japan, so I'm trying to keep it together. But Japanese culture is also very vibrant. And there is a lot of energy, but it's kind of in specific arenas. There's certain times and places. And one of those times where the energy really comes out in Japan is sporting events. So we went to a baseball game in Japan, which was fantastic. I'm a big baseball fan and I've been to a ton of Major League games. So one of my dreams was to go to a baseball game in Japan. And so we went to a Tokyo Swallows game. Their mascot's the swallow, like the bird. And they were playing against the Dragons. And we got there. Like I said, I go to baseball games, and one of the things that I love is just being noisy at the ballpark. You know, the whole time, in baseball games we've been to in the U.S., there's always a kind of just murmur of excitement. And then every now and then something happens and people yell, and it's like that. And so throughout the game, in a baseball game, I'll yell, hey, batter, swing, batter, stuff like that. It's not like that in Japan. It's much noisier. We show up at the stadium and we hear trumpets. We sat in the right field bleachers where all like the crazy fans sit, and they're there. They have trumpets and they have drums that they're banging, and everybody in the bleachers too. They have like these noisemakers that they're banging together. These aren't for me. Jada wanted them. Of course. So they have these noisemakers, and I know it sounds like a little noise, but imagine this times thousands of people. And they're banging them. But what's different, whereas in America when people just yell, it's just like crazy noise, but it's all coordinated songs and chants. So there's like a guy out there and he's got a big sign to show everybody what the next song is. And every batter that gets up, all the fans, they have a song for each batter. So like Nori Aoki comes up and all together, thousands of people, okay, whoa, whoa, okay. It's amazing. Thousands of people same thing at the same time, and it goes nuts. And then the best thing is that every time the home team would score, then they'd get out these umbrellas. Now, I didn't want to get one of these, but, Becca wanted one. So they all have these little umbrellas. And when they score, the whole crowd, all like 20,000 people get up and they do the umbrella dance. Like all together. Let's see it. I'm not going to do it. I don't know if you know, but here, this is a taste of the umbrella dance here. Oh my God. That's thousands of people all coordinated together, just making a chant. It's incredible. And this goes on until the other team comes back. Then the other team comes back, and everyone's quiet. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is great. Like, yeah, let's go. And then it changes. Because now it's time for the other fans to cheer. They let the visiting fans come in, and they bring their own drums and their own trumpets, and in the left field, all the Dragons fans are cheering. Now, it throws me up because I cannot imagine this. If you're a Giants fan, and we're going to let like 5,000 Dodgers fans in, and they're going to have all their stuff, and they're going to sing coordinated cheers for their team, but you allow it, it's their turn. And so when the other team is batting, I just sit still. It's the hardest thing. I know now I'm in a baseball stadium with all these thousands of people, and I'm used to the other team. It's 8th inning, if they caught up, it's tied, and I just want to root for our team and be like, yeah, come on, let's go. Nobody over here taking noise. Nobody's taking noise. We gotta wait. But the thing is, when I wait for it, I'm like, oh, it's so hard to sit still. It's quiet over here. But then our team comes back to back. And everybody gets going, and the thousands of people are getting it going, and they score. We are watching the game. It's the bottom of the 9th inning. The team is down by 2. They tie it up, and then there's a walk-off 3-run home run. Wow. Umbrellas going crazy. The victory song, oi, 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 it was crazy. But I had to wait for it. I mean, for me, I wanted to make noise the whole time on my own, but knowing that if I waited for it, I could be a part of something bigger. That's what God said. If you will wait on me, you can be a part of something bigger. Amen. Coming in the victory song with the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. Amen. How he longs to be compassionate to you if you would wait on his time. This is what he says in the next verse. People of Zion, you who live in Jerusalem, you will weep no more. How gracious he will be to you when you cry for help. As soon as he hears, he will answer you. Although the Lord gives you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, your teachers will be hidden no more. With your own eyes, you will see them. So he's saying, he will come to you if you would stop running. If we would stop trying to fix up things ourselves, run to our own amusements, run to our own escapes, instead, if we would stop and just cry for help and say, I need you. It says, when you cry for help, he will be gracious to you. God is so good. He loves us, he pursues us, but it's also a gentleman. He's not going to force you. He's going to say, this is my love for you. You can choose it. And if you're going to run from me, if you're going to get on swift horses and flee, then you will run. But when you're ready, when you turn towards me, I am here to turn towards you. But it's our choice. And what we do, we have to be honest with ourselves. We have to be real with ourselves. And many of us say, I'm not running from God. I pray to God. I ask him all the time to bless me. I ask him all the time to help me. I ask him all the time to do stuff for me. And then I go and do it myself. And yet, for us to receive God's love, we have to stop and be present with Him and say, Lord, have your way. And he says, when that happens, he says, although the Lord gives you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, your teachers will be hidden no more. And what that means is that when we come to the presence of God, when we stop, we'll realize that some of the difficulties that we've been going through are actually our teachers. That we're not to run from them. We're not to run from trial. We're not to run from adversity. But God said, if in the midst of that adversity, that you will come with repentance and rest, with quietness and trust, you will find your strength. It's an invitation of God saying, let's do this together. Let's live this life together. Don't run from it. Let's run together. And as you wait on me, he's not saying do nothing. He says, wait on me, and you will find your strength in me, and we will overcome this together. Through the blood of my Son, Jesus Christ, and the sacrifice for you, giving you freedom. Let's walk in this together. And then it says, in verse 21, and then whether you turn to the right or the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, this is the way, walk in. And this is another one that's pulled out, and just said, oh, we like this. We want to be able to have God just whisper in our ears, this is the way, walk in. But we can't take it out of context. That happens when we are still before God. For those who wait on the Lord, for those who listen to Him. And then He says, I will show you the way to go. Too often we just want to know and ask, well, what's God's will for my life? Will He just tell me what to do? God's will for your life is for you to trust Him. His will for your life is for you to come to Him with repentance and rest, with quietness and trust. And as you do, He'll guide you. And it's amazing here, it doesn't say, and then He will give you the roadmap, and you'll figure it out on your own. Instead, He says, no, just go. And when you reach the fork in the road, I'll tell you left or right. But you're only going to be able to listen if you've been quiet and still before. This is the life that God has for you. For us not to run anymore, but to stop running. Receive His love and salvation as we do receive His direction.